All right, high rollers, what a treat today. An opinionated and towering force in the world of darts speaks his mind on Twitter, provides fans of this great sport a ton of wonderful tidbits, a dynamite source for darting info. If you don't follow him on Twitter, you must. It's absolute gold. At Aki Balboa 1. I call him the Rocky of darts, and he has been busy this past month. First, the PDC Worlds at Ali Pali, then the BDO Worlds at Lakeside, the men's and women's. This guy was all over it. Of course, he was watching, as most of us were, as Leighton Bennett put on that spectacular performance in the World Youth Championship. The kid was on fire. Glenn Durant, Mikiro Suzuki as well. Lots to chat about. Chris, a.k.a. at Aki Balboa 1, joins us now. Chris, welcome to the show, man. Thanks for being our high roller today.
Thank you very much for having me on.
It's a real pleasure, man. Appreciate the time. Now, where do we start? I mean, what a busy month it's been. All of it over the holidays, too. I mean, how are you coping now that it's over, that we have a break? Are you suffering withdrawal? I mean, what's going on?
I'm all okay about it. I think we've had enough. 1 month is pretty enough for darts, really, for World Championship darts for me.
Well, it really was a spectacular month. You tweeted this out. That was a long month, Christmas, New Year break in between, marathon of 4 world championships that has come to an end. Well done to anyone who's watched every single game. Congratulations to all the winners. You know, when I saw that tweet, I was very proud of myself because I thought, hey, I saw them all. But I actually missed a couple of the PDC matchups. I know I missed the Needle against James Wade. I didn't watch them all, but I was there or thereabouts, man. What a month.
It was a great month. To be honest, the PDC and the BDO World Championships weren't as good as people think they are, but it was a good month for activity on social media and the action as well. So it was all good, but it wasn't as good as they were the previous years, in my opinion.
Now, why is that? Is that average related? Is that a crowd attendance? What is that?
It's not really average related. It was PDC last year, or 2018, was a lot better because it had a surprise winner or surprise-ish winner. And the BDO World Championships had the most 180 overseas, so they were both superb in their own right. Don't get me wrong, they weren't bad World Championships, far from it. It was just on a level a little bit down from last year.
Okay, now, one of the things you did tweet out was about the coverage, and we'll talk about the BDO first because that's the most recent. You tweeted, great coverage on Eurosport, excellent comms and analysis all week from John Rawling, Chris Mason, Paul Nicholson, Martin Adams, Tony O'Shea. Good work. And you said it was the best BDO Worlds production-wise, in your opinion. I mean, I thought it was great.
Yes, it was. The production was superb. It was better. It's a far cry from the BBC days where really they just made it into like a parody, and it didn't give it justice. And I thought it was better than Channel 4 last year, and I think it's onwards and upwards in that regard.
You know, I just had Mark Webster on, and I was talking about his commentating during the Ali Pali. And you look at the commentators for the BDO, John Rawling, Mason, Paul Nicholson. Wolfie was on stage many times giving his analysis. Tony O'Shea near the end. I mean, you've got some great commentators in darts, and I think that adds to the entertainment value of it all.
It does. And especially when they've been there and done it as well. And they come across really well. Nicholson and Mason together were really, really good. Got a bit of stick off, I thought, which was unfair, but they were really, really good together. And hopefully, whether it's PDC or BDO, in any time, that they become a duo again.
Now, before I go on with more of your tweets about the World Championships, do you have a philosophy when it comes to your Twitter? I mean, you're always on there, you're opinionated. You also talk about social aspects as well, not just the darts, but do you have a philosophy when it comes to your tweets?
Not really, no. It's more dart related because of what it is, but darts is not my main sport, but I use it to channel the darts audience. But I do talk about other aspects as well, as you can see. To do with politics in Britain and so forth, but it's mainly darts related, but there's no real philosophy under it.
Okay, now here's one of your tweets. The averages for both were down. I assuming you're talking about the World Championships. The numbers are as follows. Comparison average winning leg PDC 15.56 darts. In the BDO 16.29 darts. 6 visits each. No difference. Granted, the PDC had more players. The difference isn't as much as it looks. And I know there's a lot of debate about the BDO versus the PDC. Where do you I know you're a big BDO fan. Where do you stand on all of this?
Well, PDC is professionalism. I mean, if you have a £12 million tour, or is it 13, 14 million, whatever, multi-million-pound tour, you're going to get the best players. It's life. That's always going to, and they're always going to be on television, so it's always going to be stronger. But the people's perception of the BDO is, oh, it's two blokes down the local pub trying to have a throw. And that's absolute rubbish, because it's a lot better than that. Even though these guys are skillful amateurs, so to speak, in inverted terms, but there's not a lot of difference when you crunch down the averages and crunch down the numbers and so forth. And if you compare what the PDC have every year, they have 10 TV tournaments compared to BDO's 3 or 4. It's not bad. And BDO could be very proud of the averages and what they've achieved with their product. I think it's not bad at all.
Absolutely, and there's always drama, and, you know, they're putting their heart and soul into it, and the darts is fantastic. I mean, some of the takeouts, I mean, the checkouts were phenomenal, weren't they, at the Lakeside this year, in big moments, too?
There was. There was a lot of good checkouts, a lot of good moments. It's quite weird that we didn't have a 161, 164, 170 checkout at the Lakeside this year. That was the only thing that really missing, really. But there was a lot of great moments with the checkouts and so forth, like Scott Baker as well, to save the game against Glenn Durrant. He checked out 140, I think it was, off memory. And so, yeah, some great moments. And Nigel Hayden as well to save the game against Venture. Both of them lost, unfortunately, for them. But
yeah, Hayden had that 132, and Mandiger's, I believe it was like a 149 or something.
That's right.
To save the day. They all lost, but it was complete drama in the moment.
Yeah, it was really good. Really good timing as well from some of the players. You know, it was a really good championship. It wasn't as good as last year, in my opinion, but it was a really good championship, and the same with the PDC. There was a lot of good moments. There's a lot of flat moments. There's a lot of overrated moments, but all in all, they were good championships.
I often compare the BDO and the PDC to American football, you know, the National Football League, the NFL. That's where the big money is. That's where the best players are. But we've got the CFL in Canada, too, the Canadian Football League. And, you know, there's some good competition there. They always put on a great championship, a great season. So I think there's room for both. And I think it was just proven over this last month.
It is proven. There is room for both. And although you might find Durrant and Waits and Williams going over to the PDC and getting their tour cards and so forth, the BDO will always recover. It will never compete with the PDC as in player strength or anything like that. But it will have enough players to form something of this is worthy of a world championship. It always will, and it always has.
Now let's talk about Glenn Durrant for a second. Makes history with 3 straight Lakeside titles. You know, people are talking about how is he going to fare in the PDC? Is he even going to get his tour card? Should he be given a tour card? You retweeted someone's tweet that suggested Duzza wouldn't make the top 100 in the PDC. You said he might, considering he hasn't got a tour card as of yet. 95 averages are not decent pub games, mate. Then you also tweeted, he is a world champion and so is MVG. Sorry if you're offended. I mean, this guy is top quality, isn't he?
He is. He's really improved over the last 5 or 6 years. I mean, I remember him as Glenn Durrant as a player who was decent, who should go on tour, and he has gone on tour, and this is what he's done. So, he's top draw. If he gets a tour card, whether or not he make the top 10 Premier League, who knows? It is hard, and it's a hard slog. But if he gets on that tour with the tour card, because there's a big 4 days coming up, he will be a success in his own right.
Another thing you tweeted, and he addressed it in his interview after winning the championship for a 3rd straight year, you said, so people can pipe down with the Bristow and Durrant 3 times comparison. Glenn addressed that himself. Still people will moan Glenn is a worthy champion. So he addressed it that, Bristow won 3 in a row when everything was unified. But you can't take this away from him. 3 in a row against some of those players is amazing.
Absolutely, but people are quick to diminish his achievements. Okay, he's addressed it himself, saying, okay, it's not a united field, but 3 in a row, 3 world championships in a row, or 3 anything in a row in darts is phenomenal achievements, regardless of if you're playing Michael Van Gerwen or Scott Baker or whoever. It doesn't matter. It's a phenomenal achievement, and people should really credit him for that achievement, and don't use the argument of, oh, he wouldn't beat Michael Van Gerwen. Well, neither did Gary Anderson, neither did Rob Cross this year. So it makes no sense, that argument. So look at his achievement of what he's done rather than who he could have played, and it's a phenomenal achievement.
There really was some great matches too. Mitchell, Williams had a great tournament. Yep. Scotty Too Hottie making the final. I mean, he dusted off Mikael Unterbuchner, some quality darts. So the BDO quality is there as far as I'm concerned, and I hope they continue on.
Yep.
It looks like Des Jacquelin's making some positive moves. We're going to talk about a statement in a second, but we got to switch to the women's now. Mikuro Suzuki,
Yep.
I mean, wow, what do you say about her?
Well, it's amazing because it's not really a total surprise for people that know who Mika Suzuki is and what she's done. But it's a fantastic achievement, as you rightly say. I saw her in Hull beat quite easily Fallon Sherrock and Maria O'Brien before the stages of the World Masters. And she looked really, really good there. And she was 150 to 1 to win for a bit, to win the World Championships. And I was thinking, that is so long. It's unbelievable, but it's a fantastic achievement. It's great for darts in Asia as well, and it's hopefully it's a springboard for the BDO to actually get forward in Asia and get forward and probably use a couple of events there. Whether they'll do that, I don't know, but I hope they do, and hope it brings them some springboard. Like Nicholson said, get the World Trophy into Japan, and I think that's a great idea, but whether or not that happened remains to be seen.
Well, I'll tell you what, she certainly got star power, and one of the things that struck me, because this was, the first real chance that I got to watch her play. She played, 4 matches, I think, and she played the first 2 without earplugs. She wanted to take in the atmosphere of the lakeside. She puts those earplugs in. Next thing you know, she's lights out. But she comes out to the Baby Shark. She gets everyone going. She bowed to the crowd. They all seem to love her. And when she lines up the dart, she's got that little confident smirk on her face. And then in the final, some of the shots, she back-to-back 180s, the 148, she just absolutely destroyed Lorraine Winstanley. I mean, she really brought it up a notch, and people were digging her.
Yes, she did. It was a phenomenal performance. Lorraine didn't play that badly herself. I mean, she averaged, 77, 78 in the final, so, that's a good, solid performance. But, she couldn't have no answer to it. It was phenomenal. And she could have got a 93, 94, 95 average. I mean, averages don't really matter in this retrospect. She just dominated the match from start to finish. She could have been on a 9 dart. That would have been pretty much madness if she would have got that.
Oh,
absolute
man.
Madness.
I was on the edge of my seat. I tell you what, I was loving that final. She really stole the show and put on a real spectacle for darts fans. It was fantastic. Now, speaking of brilliant, how about this Leighton Bennett? I did a report on him earlier this year, but I've never seen him play. And there he is, front and center. And man, 13 years old, where's this kid going to end up?
Well, you don't know. I might get pelters for this, but this could be the best he'll ever play. And he might not improve any further, but being positive on it, I hope he goes along, because he's got something about him with his swagger and whether his celebrations and stuff. I didn't mind his celebration when he won the World Championship, and some people criticise him for that, but they've got to forget he's 13 years old. I just hope the people close to him look after him properly, and I think they will.
Why do you think people criticized him for that celebration? Is this a difference between the PDC and the BDO, do you think? Because they kind of promote the fancy dress and the sing-song and the loud noise and the craziness over there. But in the BDO, it seems to be a little bit more reserved and more respectful. What are your thoughts on why maybe he got criticized for that? I didn't think there was anything wrong with it.
I don't know why people criticise him. Perhaps they think a 13-year shouldn't do that, but it's genuine excitement about winning a fantastic title. I found when I saw people criticising it, they tend to be more PDC-centric fans, if you know what I mean. So I don't know if it's a PDC or BDO thing, but he won the world title after celebration. I wouldn't mind it if Glenn Durrant went and had that celebration after you beat Scott Waits.
Right.
Sometimes you've got to show your general emotion about winning a title, not just sitting there and going, "Oh, I've won another thing," or "I'll shake my opponent's hand and do nothing." Show some emotion.
I thought it was absolutely brilliant. The kid can play, and let's hope he goes on to bigger and better things. And this is just an indication that he's a bright light and is going to shine in the future. Okay, the BDO, great performance at the Lakeside. I mean, the coverage was excellent on Eurosport Quest. I was watching it here in Canada on YouTube, and there was thousands of fans on there, so it's happening for them. Des Jacquelin seems to have done a great job. Recently issued a statement. I know there was some questions about the length of the women's matches, the prize money. What do you think is going to happen with the BDO? Seems to be going in the right direction.
It does, but it depends on what's has installed next month, because he said February, there's going to be some things happening. I just hope BDO needs to have sponsorship, big backers, people that could raise the prize money of the free events, because the World Trophy prize fund last year was poor to the men's winner. That's not even worth it, really. And things like that, if you can get sponsors in, improve the product because it's on TV. Improve the product, increase the women's thing isn't great at all. It should be close to 25 grand in my opinion, at the very least. So therefore, he's got to get the sponsors in, and he's got to increase the money, and it will help players come forward. He might help players stick around for a bit because they might not get the riches in the PDC that they might get in BDO. I'm not saying it's riches in BDO, but they might earn more money in the BDO than they would in the PDC. So he's got to get sponsorship in, and he's got to get the momentum coming forward. Would he get sponsorship in? I hope so. I hope they back him.
Yeah, I think they will back him. I think he's going to do it. I got a good sense about this guy. I don't know him, but everything I've seen so far, it seems to have all come together, and the coverage was excellent, and there was some drama, so I think that's only going to help, and what Suzuki did is only going to help too, so everything seems to be going well. I've never been to the Lakeside. I know it's a legendary venue for darts. It's iconic. John Lowe, Bristow, Jockey, all the greats have graced that stage. I assume you've been there. Tell me what it's like.
It's a great place. It's decaying as a venue. There's a lot of things there that need to be modernised, but you get a sense of history when you get into the place. It captures something, and you can't really describe it until you're there, but it captures something, and you think, wow, this is where everybody, well, majority of the players, that the greatest players that's ever lived, have played here, and you think, wow. And I've been there about 10 times. It's really fantastic. It needs to be modernised. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of things there that need to be modernised there, but it's still a fantastic place. And I've been thinking about him because there's been rumours of the BDO Worlds going elsewhere. I actually hope it doesn't anymore. I hope it stays at Lakeside because it's iconic and people recognise it. Oh, Lakeside BDO Worlds, instead of that it's moved to such and such, and it's not going to be the same sort of thing. So I hope it stays at Lakeside.
I got to ask you about Eric Bristow. Passed away last year at the Darts.
Yeah.
One of the greats of all time, right up there. My favorite dart player, along with Jockey Wilson, of all time. I love those two guys. I thought they brought drama. I thought they were exciting. I thought they were characters. What are your thoughts on Eric Bristow and his legacy in darts?
With Eric, I didn't really see him much because I was too young to see him, and I didn't really in darts when he was at his heyday. But it speaks for itself. When everybody thinks about darts, they think of Eric Bristow, and it's a shame that he had dartitis and he didn't win many more world titles, or he couldn't beat Taylor to the crown and so forth, because he could have dominated until probably another 10 years on top of what he did. So he is darts, really. He's probably not the greatest player to ever live, but he's the most popular, the most well known, and it was a real shock to the system, for the sport, when he died.
Yeah, it really was. One of the greats, man. Certainly, you see Eric Bristow, you think darts. Q School, lastly, it's all the talk on Twitter the past couple of days. Who's attending? Who's, signed up? Who's going to win? What's going to happen? You even tweeted, anyone got £500 so I can enter, play shit, and boast I'm a PDC player.
I've got no intention of going to Q School because I'm not very good at darts. So that's the reason why I will not have a go at going to Q School. Spending £500 or £400, whatever, for 4 days at losing 5-0 isn't my idea of fun. But anyway, Q School. But anyway, Q School. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be a bit of a slog for some players. It's going to be a culture shock for a lot of players as well. You would bank on Durant to get through. I suppose people will start to think, what the hell if he doesn't get through the first day? But if he gets through to quarters, semis in all 4 days, he'll get his card that way. So that's not really a thing. Scott Waits, he's a bit too inconsistent. I don't know if he can carry his form over for Q School. The one for people to look out for in the BDO players is Conan Whitehead, who's going, and Carl McKinstry. I mean, they're both solid. They've both got solid games, and on the floor especially, they can carry that, and that will be enough to beat a lot of players.
I've seen a question on Twitter this week about Durant. Should he be given a tour card?
My personal opinion is yes, because he's won 3 world titles. It's unprecedented. I can understand why Hearn and the PDC won't, but I think because it's an achievement in itself, winning 3 titles, I don't think BDO World Champion should get an automatic thing, Q School, but someone that's won 3 consecutive ones, I think maybe this time just give him a tour card, have him on the tour, because I know the PDC have got top players, Van Gerwen and so forth, but Durant would be a good one to add to that as well, even if he doesn't make the top 10 or whatever. It would be worth it to get a tour card, because they give a tour card to the Challenge Tour winner, and it is their tour, obviously, but I think just for this one instance, they could have given him a tour card. But hey ho, he knows what he's got to do, and he's got to do it.
Yeah, and I think he will. He's definitely a great player. I don't think a lot of people have a sense of how tough Q School is. I mean, I've interviewed a few people who've been there, and they say the 180s and the 140s are just flying off the place, and that it's absolutely ridiculously hard to get through it.
It is. It's a bit of a lottery. I'm not gonna think it's a bit of a lottery. People can get a favourable draw, and they can get through, get a Q score points, and may even take a tour card at the end of the day. When I look at the averages, look at the checkouts and everything like that, and think, and you know, come up with their stats and everything like that. And you see a lot of players that will average like 30 or 40 tomorrow, and you think what? And but it's going to be an interesting 4 days.
It really will, and we'll be watching you on Twitter, man, because I love your tweets. Keep it up. At Aki Balboa 1. If you're not following him, please do. Again, at Aki Balboa 1. I call him the Rocky of darts. It's well worth the follow. Proper darts fan. Chris, thank you so much for your time, man. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.